Hello everybody, this is StockerFinance with your host, David Scheuer. Today, I'm going to be talking about what to do when you turn 18. This is Finance for Teen. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, let's start off before you're 18. What should you do before you turn 18 and go out on your own? So I'm assuming you're still living with your parents and you're probably in high school. I'm assuming you probably need to have a job. It's probably just a minimum wage job, but it's also a great time to start a business, save money, and educate yourself. So let's just go down the list here. Save, 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 and save. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to save no matter what you're doing after you turn 18. Whether you're going to college, the military, staying at home, etc., it's important to save money. Starting a business, for those of you who are entrepreneurs or who want to take a risk in life or just want a different way to make money that's not an hourly job, it's a great risk-free time to try and start a business. You can check out my video, 5 Great Businesses for Teens. It's a great video. You can go ahead and check that one out, and I'll give you some ideas to go ahead and get started. But this time in your life, you're living at home. You're not paying for food. You don't have rent hanging over your head, hopefully. And it's a great time to just start a business, and if it fails, you learned a great lesson. You're not risking too much. So I think that's probably one of the best times in your life to just go ahead and try to start a small business. Educate yourself. I know school might suck. A lot of kids hate school. I know I was not the biggest fan of school, especially in high school, but learning about the stock market is awesome. This is when I really got into finance, and I suggest you check out my video, Best Business and Finance Books to Read, or you can read on my blog. But honestly, just reading any books on finance and reading, looking at the old Warren Buffett videos, I actually learned a lot from those. Those are pretty great videos. Or just going on any of the other finance channels. There's a lot of good content out there. So go ahead and make sure to educate yourself on personal finance, investing in the stock market, and real estate. Just get a good overview of everything so that when you do turn 18, you're prepared to go out into the real world. All right. Create a budget. So this is very important, and this is when you turn 18. It's very important to create a budget. It's very important for money management. It helps you save money, and it's a great visual representation of your money. You can check out my video on my personal budget. It might not be out yet since I'm making this video before it, but hopefully it's out depending on when you're watching this video. But anyways, creating a budget is a great visual representation because you can see exactly how much you need to save, what you're spending your money on, where you're spending it. Are you overspending? Are you underspending? Do you actually have money left over? And honestly, you can get as detailed as possible by creating a detailed budget. I just go into Google Sheets, just create one right there. It's an excellent, easy way to do it. You can even write it down on a piece of paper if you want just kind of a more low-key budget there. And it's a really important thing to have no matter what you're doing. Number 2, invest. Start investing small sums into the market. So I suggest investing into index funds. That's because time is on your side. You're so young. You just turned 18. And if you invest in an index fund or your IRA account now, you're going to be able to retire earlier than other people who haven't started investing in their future. And so index funds. I have other videos on this, so I'm not really going to get too into it. But I suggest you look into that. Watch some videos, and it's a great way to use compound interest in your favor. Also, if you decide just to go on your own and just pick your own stocks or whatever your investments you may be choosing to make, it's a great learning experience and will be beneficial later in life no matter what happens. If you fail, if you make a lot, it's going to turn out great at this time in your life. Why you should invest. So why should you invest and not just keep your money in a little piggy bank or a savings account? Why shouldn't you go, rent out a nicer apartment and spend all your money? Why should you invest? Well, you have a huge advantage by starting young. Time's on your side. As I said, compound interest is on your side. And if you invest in an index fund now, you could be a millionaire by investing a small sum of money now. You could be a millionaire by the time you're 50 and be able to retire much earlier than some of your peers who aren't focusing on their future like you are. You have less risk right now. It's okay if you lose your money. It's not detrimental. For example, later on in life, if you're investing larger sums of money and you have a mortgage above your head, you have a family to feed, whatever it may be, investing money it's a larger risk. You're actually, there's a lot more to lose. You have your livelihood at stake. Whereas right now, hey, you make a mistake, maybe you have to go back, ask your parents for some help. It's really not that big of a deal, and you'll be okay. And it's an excellent learning experience. And on top of this, As I said, it sets you up later in life and is a potential to make lots of money. So there's a great benefit if it works out well, which hopefully, if you take your time to educate yourself correctly, it will. All right, so let's go on to number 3 here. Open a credit card. Now, I am not necessarily the credit card guy. I do have some experience with it, but I am not the credit card guy. In my opinion, you should go check out Graham Stephan's video. He's a popular personal finance YouTuber on the best first credit card, and I'll link that below in the description, so go ahead and check that out because he's very detailed. I've learned a lot from him about credit cards, and I suggest you go ahead and check out his video. But opening a secure credit card to start building credit is what you should do. A secure credit card basically is for people who don't have the best credit or they don't have any credit history, and it allows you to start building this credit for later on in life when you may need to get a good loan for a house or a loan for a car or whatever it may be. So that's why you should start building it now and not later. Also, make sure you have a job before getting a credit card and never have interest. You may see how high the interest payments are. You shouldn't even have to worry about that because you should be paying it on time. But in order to pay it on time, you need a job. So make sure to have some sort of income source, whether you're working an hourly job, whether you have a little business you're running, whatever it may be, make sure to have some sort of income source so you can pay off your credit card and you don't have to pay any interest. All right, number 4. Have an income source. As I just said, make sure to have a job. Whether you have a job, self-employed, etc. Don't just be living in your mom's basement, guys. Make sure to have an income source. Be doing something with your life. Be productive. This doesn't have to be the dream job. You don't have to be working on Wall Street. You don't have to be the CEO of a company right away. It takes time to get there. This time is for you to have a basic job, whether you're paying off some college debt. It allows you to save money, invest, open a credit card, etc. And that brings me to my next point here, which is specifically for if you're going to college. Now, first off, if you're going to college, you've got a few things to worry about. Number 1, you may have debt. Number 2, you have to spend money in college. And if you're just paying for college, you're going to need some spending money. And number 3, it's a lot different because you're not just going out to the real world. You're still continuing your school. It's a lot different from what other peers may be doing. It's it's 2 different paths here. So how do you improve this college experience in the financial section of it? Looking for scholarships. When I applied to college, I did not look for any scholarships, and I regret it. I do have some student loan debt, and that's because I really didn't look for any scholarships. There's websites with lists of scholarships, no matter who you are. Don't apply to just one, apply to all of them. Even if your college is kind of cheap and you really don't think you're going to have that much debt, or if your parents are paying for all of your debt, go ahead and still apply to the scholarships because it's going to, for one, maybe they'll give you the extra money, or it'll just help you out a lot with not having to pay even just a little bit of debt. So apply to scholarships. It's a lot nicer to go to college for free than have just debt weighing over your head throughout your time there. Find a part-time job during school. A lot of kids don't like to work. I did not work my freshman year of college, and I kind of regret it. It was super fun and I had a lot of freedom, but at the same time, I definitely had time to work at least a little bit, at least a couple hours a week, even if it's just like one day a week. And I could have made a lot extra money, which would have been nice for spending money, as well as it would have been nice to start paying off some of that debt before it starts really piling on top of itself later on. So if you don't want to work during the school and you're really like, hey, I just want to have a lot of free time, make sure to make enough over the summer. I made the mistake of not making enough. I thought I had enough and I was a couple $1,000s off, and it really screwed me up. I ended up having to ask some family members for money in order to pay the rest of my college tuition that term. It's really not that big of a deal long term for me, but I really suggest that you make sure that you're making enough money to cover the whole year. Make sure to include spending money too. And with both of these in mind, have little to no debt after college. You don't want to have that much. It's okay to have, a couple $1,000s, or even up to, I'd say, about like $50,000 is really not that detrimental to yourself. But if you're in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, it can really weigh on you, especially if you have a major that's, if you're not going to immediately get a job as a spinal surgeon making $1 million a year. It's really important that you don't want to have that much debt. So make sure to look for scholarships. Find a part-time job, even if it's just like one day a week, or even if it's not a part-time job and you have your own thing, running a little business on the side, or you're mowing lawns for people in the area. Make sure to do that. And go to college for something you can't learn out of school, because that's important. I changed my major in college because I realized what I was initially going for didn't really matter that much, and I could learn it, just on YouTube basically and through the internet and reading books. So I went to college for something that I really can't learn outside of school, and that was a major decision I made, and I think it paid off well. All right. Thanks for watching. This video was an overview, a full Finance for Teens 101 and people around this age group, the younger generation. I'm going to make a full personal finance video. It's going to come soon. It's going to be a very long video, but it'll have a complete overview in detail of everything to prepare you for later in life. So check out these videos as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to subscribe. Peace out.